Itachi Uchiha, a genius, a prodigy born into the most powerful bloodline in the Hidden Leaf. He was the firstborn son of a clan leader, a child engineered to carry his father's every dream. He was raised to be the dawn of victory, the pride of his family, the living proof of how special the Uchiha truly were. But the child who was meant to bring the dawn became something else entirely. He became the Eclipse that swallowed his own clan whole. He is remembered as a mass murderer, the man who slaughtered his own family in a single night, sparing only his little brother. But behind the crimson eyes of the sharingan lies a story that the world refused to see. This is not a story about a monster who chose evil. This is a story about a boy who was taught that peace could only be built on violence, and who spent his entire life trying to prove that teaching wrong. This is a tragedy about what happens when loyalty, love, and idealism are forced to collide with the truth. Itachi was born into doctrine. From birth, he was taught that the Uchiha were the superior clan, a bloodline of unmatched intelligence and unmatched power, a clan capable of erasing all the world's chaos, if only the world would let them. Peace was the dream planted in him, but the path he was told to walk to reach it stood in direct contradiction to something buried deeper in him, instinct. Because the Uchiha bloodline carries something else, too, an overwhelming intensity of feeling. Trust, for the Uchiha, is sacred, and betrayal is a wound that never fully closes. This is the irony at the root of everything that follows. A clan raised on power and certainty, utterly unprepared for failure, because disappointment, like anything else, requires practice. The Uchiha never had any. Fugaku, his father, raised Itachi with discipline, honor, and real affection, but he raised him to inherit a broken dream. That dream collided with reality when Itachi, still a child, was taken to witness the horrors of the Third Shinobi War. He was meant to learn that war is simply a process, that death is a small price for a greater goal. Instead, a boy with no hatred yet in his heart learned something else, that war produces nothing but suffering. He absorbed his father's discipline, his father's code of honor, but not his father's belief that violence could ever be a virtue. Itachi grew into a boy known for humility, for loyalty to his teachers, for an instinct to protect the weak rather than dominate them. His strength was never meant to conquer, only to restrain those who already had too much of it. And slowly, the first cracks appeared. The dream he'd been given, and the road he was told would lead, they were not the same road at all. Could peace only be born from war? Could peace only be enforced by power? Or could it only exist if the world belonged to a single ideology? These were the questions that never left him. Determined to find the truth, Itachi did something no one expected of him. He infiltrated both sides, not as a soldier for either, but as a spy watching each from the inside, searching for the ideology that actually matched what he believed. On one side stood his own clan's philosophy: peace through supremacy, become the strongest, and every system will bend to you. A single caste holding control, silencing whatever it doesn't approve of. Peace, in this view, is simply whatever the victor decides to call it. On the other side stood the village's philosophy: peace through consensus, rules agreed upon by the majority, upheld together. Democracy decisions shaped, directly or indirectly, by the voices of the people. Freedom under the shelter of shared law. And here, Itachi reached the center of his crisis, the ambition of the few against the power of the many, two forces pulling in opposite directions. But when he looked past their destinations, past the peace both sides claimed to be building, he saw something they had in common. Both paths ran through violence. The Uchiha believed a coup would prove to the world that their clan was untouchable, a power that demanded respect. But to Itachi, it would prove something else entirely, that overwhelming strength is simply another way to seize the throne. The village believed that annihilating the Uchiha would prove the state could not be defied, that any threat to order would be crushed without hesitation. But to Itachi, it would prove the opposite, that this peace had no room for dialogue, no room for understanding, just a hollow result, achieved by whatever means necessary. He had once been taught that war was simply the road to peace. He had once been taught that peace wasn't about one group winning, it was the unity of many different parts. He had been taught that strength should be used to hold back cruelty, and now those lessons were being used to justify the very thing he was raised to despise. Itachi was betrayed, over and over, by the people he trusted most. The village he believed in turned out to be hiding its own agenda, quietly ordering the extermination of his entire clan. And his own clan, driven by pride and the ache of feeling disrespected, was plotting a coup born from ego and broken communication, not justice. And then there was Fugaku, the man Itachi respected above all others. The father who had taught him about peace, loyalty, and honor, now teaching him something far darker, that death carries no weight at all, so long as it serves the clan's rise to power. Itachi never chose a side, not the village, not the clan. He chose something bigger than both. He saw that the village represented more than the Uchiha ever could, a place built on countless different beliefs, different kinds of people, working toward something larger than any single bloodline's pride. The Uchiha, meanwhile, had boxed themselves inside a doctrine that produced nothing but cycles of violence. Itachi could no longer find any good left in that path. The only way forward, he decided, was to burn the whole system down and build something new from the ashes. Alongside Obito, he set out to end the coup and end the endless inheritance of hatred passed down through his clan, a massacre born from an imbalance of power. A coup born from the same imbalance, in reverse. Both roads led to the same devastation. This was the process his father had unknowingly prepared him for, just aimed in a direction Fugaku never could have imagined. In his final moments, Fugaku experienced war from the losing side for the first time, the suffering, the powerlessness he had never truly understood until it was his own. And Itachi was the result of everything his father had ever taught him, that war is only ever a process towards something greater. So he made his decision. He spared one person, his little brother, the one soul Itachi believed was still untouched by hatred, the seed of something different. A new dawn for a clan that had never known peace. Itachi carried the guilt of that night for the rest of his life. He let the other children die that night too, believing even without certainty that they had already inherited their parents' hatred. Sasuke was different. Itachi knew his little brother's heart intimately. He had raised him to be kind, to train hard, without ever planting the doctrine of hatred their father had planted in him. So Itachi made a choice that placed the full weight of his crime on his own shoulders. He destroyed his clan so they would never suffer what hatred does to a person. But in truth, it was Itachi who carried that suffering for the rest of his life. His father's final words to him were simple and devastating. The sword Itachi held was already cutting into his own flesh, and it would go on cutting him forever. The genjutsu of his past never let him go. So Itachi chose his punishment deliberately. He made his own brother hate him. He turned that hatred into fuel, motivation, a weapon to make Sasuke stronger, strong enough to survive a world Itachi wouldn't be there to protect him from ending his own life. By his brother's hand was the sentence Itachi passed on himself. Itachi the Dawn, the Uchiha were promised, planted that same dawn inside Sasuke instead. He wanted his brother to inherit his dream, freed from the hatred that had drowned everyone before them. Itachi's death marked the end of a regime built on inherited hatred, and the hope he carried for Obito, for Madara, was that this cycle would finally end with him, replaced by the new dawn growing in Sasuke. The ideals that took root in Sasuke are the very ones Itachi always hoped for. Sasuke is the harvest of everything Itachi fought for in silence. Itachi was a hero hidden inside the shadow of a villain. The world only ever saw the decision, never the impossible choice behind it. He was born a genius. He lived as a criminal. He died a hero. And he is remembered as a legend. Itachi never stopped protecting the people he loved, even when it meant becoming the very thing they feared. He carried a burden no one asked him to carry, and he carried it alone, until the very end. In the end, the boy who was promised as the dawn never got to see it rise for himself. He simply made sure it would rise for someone else.